On July 4th, 2014, a local news station reported that a barge crew found a human leg in the Ohio River near Henderson, Kentucky. 3 days later, this story began making the rounds on social media, claiming that 17 bodies were found in the river. Much to the relief of our community, this second ghastly story turned out to be utterly false. And the only real damage was to the egos of people who had shared it on social media and got shamed for falling for a hoax. How many times have you seen this quote from Donald Trump saying that if he were to ever run for president, he'd run as a Republican because they're the dumbest group of voters in the country? Or maybe you've seen this National Geographic photo of the year. Well, Donald Trump has said many crazy things, but he never said this. And although members of our Coast Guard are often put in some pretty dangerous situations, then none of them have seen action quite like this. This photoshopped photograph has been circulating through emails for 15 years and even has its own Wikipedia entry called Helicopter Shark. Fake news stories, made-up quotes, and doctored images are collectively undermining our trust. So much so that I think a recent Facebook exchange that I witnessed really demonstrates what's going on here. A friend shared an opinion piece about bathroom legislation. Her friend chimes in, "You do know these posts are all fake to stir up a riot, don't you?" She lists all the things that she's seen that were fake on Facebook and concludes, "It's probably best that we not believe anything we read on Facebook." I think we can all relate to her sentiment. And she's headed in the right direction, but she went a little too far. We can't stop believing everything we read and hear. Information is too important. We rely on it to make decisions about our health, about how we spend our money, and about who we elect to lead our communities, our states, and our country. And social media is where we share ideas. But in this new age of social media, information and misinformation spread faster than ever. Filtering through the noise to determine fact from fiction can seem overwhelming, but it's simpler than it first appears. I would like you to consider for a moment this morning how many messages you've seen since you woke up. Sign this petition, read this story, donate to that cause, vote for this person, buy this product. This is a noisy environment we live in. So what do we do about it? Well, here's a process I call, whoa, wait, what? It's a process of evaluating information and identifying misinformation and manipulation to make you a better news consumer and a better informed person. The whoa is something you're familiar with. It's that first reaction to information that surprises you. You're either so enraged or so excited about the information, you want to tell someone about it. But before you click share or retweet, wait. That period at the end of that word is a reminder to pause and consider one thing. This information might not be true. The what is the most important step. It's a series of questions you'll ask to determine if the information you've encountered is reliable. Each of the questions begins with one of the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, why. I like to start with the when and where. So when was this information first made available? Just how many times has Joe Cocker been reported dead on Facebook since his actual death in 2014? If we all get in the habit of checking the date at the top of a website, I think we're going to all suffer a lot less embarrassment and we can let Joe rest in peace. Consider where the information is posted. Let's go back to that 17 bodies story for a moment. Take a look at the name of the website. You also always want to check the URL and perhaps even the logo. At first glance, it might appear to be a legitimate news website, And sometimes it might look familiar to you. But if you look closer, you might find that this just doesn't look quite right. The logo's stretched, or maybe the name is a play on words for a legitimate news site, or maybe it's a .co instead of a .com. In this case, we have Empire News, and we're not familiar with that. So if you're not familiar with the site, check the About page. You'll find out what the motivations of the website owners are. You'll find out if this is a hoax site, if they have partisan leanings, if it's supposed to be satire. And in the case of Empire News, we find out it's for entertainment purposes only. A quick word about Facebook and Twitter. Make sure you know who's sharing the information. Look at the name and who are these people? Why are they sharing this information? Twitter, for example, is a hotbed of fake profiles. They use the headshots and names of people, of famous people. And Twitter knows this, and they now verify, and they indicate their verified Twitter accounts by using the little blue check mark. Next, we're going to dig a little deeper and consider who's responsible for this information and who's cited. Credible news stories and credible studies have either a byline or an author, and they're going to identify them by name. And they're going to also offer credible and named news sources throughout. Another step lower, and we start thinking about what kind of information have I encountered here? And what evidence are they providing to back up this information? Is it full of facts or opinions? Is it outrageous or is it plausible? And if you've discovered a news story that doesn't seem quite right, take a little spin around Google and decide and find out if somebody else, other news organization, is reporting it and what they're saying about it. Lastly, consider why this information is available at this point. Why is it all of a sudden on your radar? Why did it show up in your Facebook feed? Have you ever noticed that when you're on Facebook and you click on content, and after you're finished reading it and you navigate back to Facebook, there's a little box waiting for you on Facebook when you get back. It usually says something like, people also shared. You may find occasionally an item here that appears to be a newsworthy item, but most of the time it's classic clickbait. Headlines that end in a ... or plenty of, you won't believe what happens next. And then there are those often disgusting thumbnail pictures with the outrageous and provocative headlines. These are often waiting for you at the end of a story, at the bottom of a website. If you look at these a little closer, you're going to find some indication of where they came from. And it'll say something like, by Taboola, or my personal favorite, powered by Outbrain. Both are clickbait marketing companies. And this is not limited to partisan blogs and hoax websites. Legitimate news organizations accept this kind of marketing and sometimes use these kinds of tactics as they attempt to make up for lost print revenue. And we, the audience, are left hanging in the balance, trying to figure out what it all means and if any of it's even true. You know, everyone with an internet connection can publish anything at any time from anywhere for anyone to read. That's amazing, isn't it? But that comes with a price. Each of us are now responsible for our own information, and we have to figure out and do our best to determine fact from fiction. There's so much information. It's all starting to look the same. And that's why I'm confident that now that you're aware and you're on the lookout, that when something like this pops up in your Facebook feed, you'll know exactly what to do. Thank you.